talk about patellar tendonitis, okay? Now, obviously we know that usually, most of the time, it's just an inflamed patellar tendon on the insertion point on the tibial tubercle. But if we look at the knee as a whole, what I find in a couple different instances is that yes, we have an inflamed tendon here, but it's due to some kind of mechanism up or down the chain, right? Now, as my students have heard me talk about, there is 2 points along the lateral quad and hip. We're only going to talk about one right here, and that is this point right here. So it's kind of like the VMO or the VLO on the opposite side, but we have a couple different things that are occurring at this point. One, our IT band comes down, our lateral quad comes down, and it all turns into a giant wad of tissue that goes and inserts onto the patellar tendon. So what I find is that if the rotational forces of each bone are not in place, so in this position we have triple flexion getting here, if you go into triple flexion, the femur should externally rotate, tibia should internally rotate, and ankle should dorsiflex, and the foot should supinate all at once. That's in closed chain triple flexion. But as they go down, all of the movement should happen at those positions. If we do a lot of work on this gutter, which is also a myofascial train link that comes up here, because again, our IT band comes right up from there. It's one of our basic supports. If we do a lot of work here, but then we also work on getting the bones to rotate as they should, that's a big way that we can relieve our knee tendonitis, our patellar tendonitis. As well, you'll often see the people who struggle with getting in triple flexion are low load people. For any sports science people, they cannot load when they create, transfer, and apply on a counter movement jump. So those are a couple things that you can immediately look at. If they're low load, they struggle getting into triple flexion, you can almost automatically say that they are going to have some form of patellar tendonitis in their playing career at some point. So work on these motions as they come back to play, as you're trying to get them to play, because if you can resolve these general things, and the opposite would be in triple flexion, all of these would go down, right? They'd be in plantar flexion, tibia would externally rotate, and femur would internally rotate, right? So as you go down, that happens, the opposite is going to occur, tensegrity at its finest. Fix those movement patterns, take the relief off this area, and you'll see the patellar tendonitis will go away pretty quick, in my opinion. That's what we got for what's brewing.